trouble at the door.
Welcome to the Vermont Dog Trainer Show, your common sense, down-to-earth advisor on all things dog training. Here's your host, Ian Grant.
So fill me in on what's been going on with you and Zora.
Actually, I don't have a lot to say, and things have been great, getting better and better. I did not call the woman to come with the dog. Last time I mentioned that there was a woman who could, come here with her dog and also potentially dog sit. So that didn't happen yet. I'm kind of afraid. I think I put it off. And I don't want to do that. And I will call her today. I've just had a lot of things going on. Yeah. I mean, I'll call her tomorrow, but also my neighbor down the road who is one of the neighbors with the dogs. So they're a big family and they all have dogs. And he really kindly today, because I've been walking by there with Zora with the belt leash, and I don't have any bear spray or anything like that, which has been fine. It's just, I've been really confident about it and confident that I've got her back. And if we're on leash and so close together, those dogs, they're not going to get to her. I'm pretty confident about that. But, I do have something to say, okay, so anyways, he very kindly offered to come up and meet, to have his dog and my dog he said nose to nose, but I know that nose to nose would not be a good idea.
Nope.
But it was his idea is very kind. So yes, I want to make that happen, but not in that way, nose to nose, in the same way that we did it with Fitz. But so we have been walking by there, like I said, and his dog, who is not one of the ones who attacked her, but is one of the ones who's part of the family and all charges at her and barks at her and stuff like that. So I've been walking by there, and the person has been there with his dog and held on to her and said, you guys can go by and everything. And then so we did go by. And then when we came back down the road to go back by their house to come home, so Zora just stopped in place and did not want to go forward. And I saw your story on Instagram yesterday, something about avoid, and you do not want, your dog to avoid. And it's exactly what she was doing. Yep. And so I did want to mention that to you and say, again, today we walked by there. And it went well because the guy was with the dog and everything was fine. And so yesterday when we walked by and when we were coming back, she avoided wanting to go by their house again. She just sort of stood frozen. Yep. The dog had barked at her, but her guardian was there with her. So it wasn't a bad situation or anything, but she still avoided going by again. And
And you mean avoided, are you talking about her putting on the brakes and just stopping?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what are you doing to get her going?
So I've been thinking a lot about what you said at one point, not related to this issue, but you said that, do you ever see deer? And you know how a deer just will go, and then the baby deer or whatever, the fawns will just follow and pick up and go. So I've been really, inspired by that. So I didn't say anything, but I just was, the one who made the decision, and I was confident, and so she just followed. That's what happened. That's what I did.
So was there one stop, and then when you kept going, she got going again and didn't stop at all, and she just started walking with you?
Yeah, she was like, okay, this is what we're doing. All right.
Sweet. Amazing job. Amazing job. That's great. It's just it's a mental block right now for good reason. Mm-hmm. That area is like an imprint to her. Mm-hmm. So it's going to take repetitions of what you're doing to get her moving. If she starts to resist more in the future, Kirsten, which she may, she has every right to, that's when I would start to add a little happy-go-lucky voice in while you're trying to move her.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it. You're doing great.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason I'm saying that is because you told me what worked, and I'm just giving you like a safety net. But you did it. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you're feeling pretty confident walking by there then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is good because that energy is going to go right straight to her, and she knows that you have things under control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How's it feel walking by there?
So yesterday when we were going by there before we got to the house, because it's down the hill so we can see it from above,
Yeah.
we saw the dog and the guy, and she stopped. We both stopped just to make sure it was fine. And then he said, "It's okay, you can walk by," because we couldn't see clearly enough that he was actually holding on to her. And it was, I mean, I'm fine with walking by there. And I feel good about it. I feel like I can totally, um, I'm fine with it, and I can give her that energy too. And it's fine.
Yeah.
She's worried, but hopefully it will be okay.
Good. Cool. That's awesome. I love to hear that kind of stuff. That's great. Good. All right. Well, we'll come back around here in a sec.
Okay.
Tiffany, you free?
I am. I'm cooking dinner, so I prefer to keep my camera off.
That's all right.
Less motion sickness.
Yes.
So things are going all right. We're doing much better on the leash control thing.
Okay.
Leash handling. Things are getting a lot better. One of the things I'm working on myself with is it's not perfection. It's about, is she responding? That's been huge for me.
Okay. Good.
So we're out of the driveway. I know that we're still running into situations, or I anticipate that we will still run into situations where she is reactive to people and pets. I've been taking her to the daycare, and as soon as we walk through the door, she's like ready to jump all over the individuals who are working there.
Really?
Yeah. And so I feel like there's that piece of like, okay, we're good at 4:00 in the morning, but occasionally we'll run into a dog. She's alert. This morning, for example, she didn't react at all, which was awesome.
Okay.
But she's definitely alert to the fact that they're there. So I think it's good. I just need to figure out I just want to fix that jumping thing so badly. I want to fix that jumping thing.
Jumping is in at the daycare?
At the daycare, we went to PetSmart the other day, and she was up on her hind legs trying to get to somebody who was welcoming her. So it's not even so much that, I don't know. I think it's a little bit of both. They will welcome her, but they're not responsive or respectful. And so it's a constant battle to try to get them to be respectful, and which I can't, right? And how do I work with Beta to make certain she's doing what she needs to do to be respectful? I don't really know what my question is. I'm just giving you examples.
I know what your question is.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You're so good at this.
Okay. So because you want to know how to control that. That's what it comes down to. Right. Yeah. Okay. So let me ask you this question. What do you want to have happen?
I want her to wait to be called in situations where when she's meeting other people and other dogs. I don't know.
So let's break it down even further. Let's just say it's a person inside PetSmart. Now tell me what you want to have happen.
I want her to sit there and sit by my side. Sit by my side.
Okay.
Is that too much to ask?
No.
Okay. That's what I want.
Not at all. So I
don't mind stopping but maybe that's part of the problem. That's what I've been trying to do, is stop when I see that we may encounter another dog, and so we're going to sit. And and wait for them to go, and I monitor how she's been responding.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's part of the problem. I don't know.
So let's go back to this, the person at PetSmart. So you walk through the doors, there's somebody ahead of you. So right now she's what, getting up on her back feet, really excited?
Yep.
Okay. And she's on the slip leash?
Yes.
Okay. And as soon as she's jumping up and she's on her back feet, what are you doing in that moment?
I'm pulling her down. I am pulling her from the back.
Okay. So here's the big mistake. Here's the mistake. Here's the mistake. Okay.
Okay.
Is that when a dog jumps up, if we pull down on the leash, it makes them want to go up even more.
Okay.
Right. So look, I got a hoodie on here, right?
Yeah.
If somebody pulls this backwards and it's not hard enough to choke me, which way am I probably going to pull?
Down. Right. No, I don't know if I heard you right. So
if somebody grabs a hold of my hood or the back of my shirt and pulls me, tries to pull me backwards,
I'm going to run away.
Right.
I'm going to try to run away.
You're going to go forward, right?
Yeah.
So that's opposites, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
By the way, are you seeing the camera? Are you seeing me or no?
I am. Yes, you're doing great. Keep doing it.
Okay, so we're in opposites here, right?
Uh-huh.
So if a dog is pulling, so let's say there's a leash around, like the cuff of my sweatshirt is a leash here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
When a dog is pulling down and forward, everybody, myself included, we've always pulled up and back to equal it.
Right.
So where are we again? Opposite.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So now here's the thing. So a dog is up on its back feet. If we want the dog to go down, what direction of the leash should we go?
Up.
Up.
I am short, and when she gets up on her hind legs, I don't have a whole lot of reach. So
that's fine. But I'm guessing even if you're 4'5", your arm is another 1.5 feet. You're getting almost 6 feet tall.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And here's the thing, because there is a sensitivity to this, is that anytime that we pull up on the leash to try to get a dog to go down, we have to pull just enough that we feel them start to go, oh, I need to get down. And we need to be able to give a little bit with that leash and give some leash.
That makes sense.
So for me, the first priority is back to all fours. Okay. Mm-hmm. So in that moment, when a dog can get back to all fours, invariably, guess what they're going to do again?
Go up.
Go up. And so this is when we have to go up to make them go down. So this is like a mini conversation that we need to have several repetitions of. So the dog realizes, man, every time I jump, I actually end up right back down here again. So do I want to go back up there and feel this, or do I just want to stay down here? Mm-hmm. So what you're going to look for are moments of hesitation from her, to where instead of her bounding all the way up, you may see her bounce a little bit. Like the front feet going off the floor going, I don't know if I actually want to do this. When I see those moments like that, I'm just putting my foot on the gas, because I know I'm taking up real estate in her head. And I know if I just follow through with everything that I'm doing so far, that will go away.
Okay.
You see?
So proactively watch for what she's doing, get ahead of it before she's up on all fours.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And if she gets up on all fours, now you have a game plan. You're basically just doing the motion of posting up without pushing or touching the butt. That's all. So you've already been doing it and you've been practicing it. Now you're just going to need to do it in a different context when the brain is more excited and stimulated.
Okay.
You see?
And then the follow through on that is just we sit there and wait until she calms down.
Yep. So what I do is, once I get the dog on all fours and the dog can stay there for 5-8 seconds, now I reapply the pressure up and go into a post up.
Oh, okay.
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 See, everybody tries to do everything all at once. They go from the jumping right all the way down into the sit. I want to break it up a little bit so the dog knows, like, what I don't want, which is the jumping. So I can release that pressure so they understand, like, okay, we got rid of that. Now I need you to take it a step further. And so if she can post up appropriately, sitting next to you, Then from there, we go 3 steps forward and we stop because we may have to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see?
Yep.
Now, here's the thing, because what the other person is doing is going to affect you.
Yeah.
So, did the person ask if they could pet the dog, or they just made all the noise and walked right up and started petting her?
It depended on the person. So, I mean, there was a couple of interactions.
So here's the thing. I have no problem, and this is me. So if let's say my dog's on my right-hand side, doesn't matter what side, and the person walks up making all sorts of noise, and there's no question about petting my dog, I will actually step in between my dog and that person.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I could see that.
You have every right to.
Yeah.
And you could just say, hold on. I'd love to have you pet her, but I'm really working on some training. And if you'd like to help me, then we can do this.
That's great. I love that dialogue.
Or you can say, I'm working with a trainer and he's suggesting I do these steps. If you'd love to, if you want to help me, I'd love to have you.
I love it. Okay.
You see, so it's never confrontational. It's never, and here's the other thing too. It's a good test for your energy. Because it's not only a stimulating environment for Beta, but it is for you.
Yeah.
And so here's the question. In that moment when you see somebody go, oh, right?
Yeah.
Do you have that? Can you have that moment where you go, okay, I know what we're dealing with. Hold up.
Yeah, I think with that said, yes, it hasn't been my experience. My energy is charged immediately. So yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so guess what? If your energy is charged, what's Beta going to do?
Yeah, she's going to follow.
Yeah. See, I knew what your question was.
You're so good. So good. Well, thank you for that. I have written down the instructions and I will try to break that down.
Yeah. But here's the other thing, because this is just the person coming up to you. We haven't finished it yet.
Oh, okay.
So if the person comes up to you and you give them the spiel, like, look, if you can help me, that would be great. And they go, yeah, sure. What do I need to do? Perfect. Just wait till she gets into a sit. And then I just need you to reach down and scratch her on the chest, but not quickly. And if she jumps, I just want you to stand up straight and I'll address the jumping.
Okay.
Get her back into the sit and we'll repeat the whole process again.
Okay.
That's all. Just no over the head. None of this stuff like petting here.
Bending down and
I want it to be under. For a dog, there's a huge conversation for us going like this. I'm going to do this to the camera so you can see. There's a difference between coming in like this or coming in like this.
Mm-hmm.
Huge difference. Huge difference.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely not threatening.
Right.
Yeah. Do you, because my world doesn't always, I mean, I have to create spaces like this. So I've really been on the fence whether I go ahead and take the leap and go into spaces like this, continue to do that, or I work on other things at home first. And I don't know what to, like, I can't recreate a lot of this at home. So I don't know what I don't know what to do.
But your leash handling you're always working on that.
Yeah. Okay.
And I would look at it like this, Tiffany. I'd be like, okay, 2 or 3 times we're going to go to PetSmart this week. That's it. And if your schedule gets crazy, you go once. And if it gets really crazy, you don't make it. It's not the end of the world. You can go next week.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, where you are at now, I'd much rather you change things, do a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of this, rather than just go all in one direction, down the rabbit hole, and no exposure anywhere else.
Okay.
Because she's how old now?
She's 6 months this couple of weeks.
Yeah. So I want to get her out more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And look, you can be in the back of the parking lot of PetSmart and walk her around a little bit, get her in sync with you, and then walk into the store. You don't have to go right from the car to the store and, beeline it in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've been doing that. I mean, I don't know what it was that you said, but I just always hear prep the dog before you take her into situations like that. And so
Yeah.
that's what we've been practicing is a good 10 minutes out in the parking lot first.
Wonderful.
So thank you for that.
Yeah. And you can play with her at home before that.
Yeah. Okay.
So you see how you're always working on stuff though?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You could play with her at home, so you drain a little energy, but you're playing with her. So you're also working on your relationship and your play and all that kind of stuff. You get in the car and you get there and you get outside, you walk her around a little bit. She gets to sniff a little bit, but then you need to get her in sync. So now you're working on the leash work. Then you get her inside. Now you're going to work on your leash work plus your socializing. You see, like you're hitting it from so many different directions.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. All right, Kirsten, back to you.
Hi. So, okay. Well, I would just like to explain the way that she and I walk and find out if it's about recall. So, this is what she does. She runs off in the woods, but then she comes back and she makes sure she knows where I am and if I'm stopped for whatever reason, she waits to see what direction I'm going to go in, and then we go in that direction. And if I want her to get out of an area, for example, okay, so I just don't want to be confusing, but what I'm trying to say is that when she goes up in the field of the property of people who I don't want her to go up into that field, I go and get her and I go like, I don't know. Firstly, I go, hoo, whistle, whistle, whistle. She sees that I'm whistling and she doesn't come. And then I go up to her because she's really, before she, runs, like before she gets very far, I could just go up to her and like go. And then I sort of push her back down into the direction I want her to be in. She goes, oh, okay. Okay, so that's off leash. Today, when we left the house, for our walk, she was already outside. I came back in the house because I had forgot her collar. I said, oh, hold on. I might have said something. I might have not, but whatever. She waited. She waited for me. Then when I had her collar in my hand, she came and she put her neck out to put it on. She came right to me. And then I put on her collar and we went for a walk leashed. And so in a way, I feel like she's sort of telling me, well, if you want me to be next to you, then leash me, put me on the collar, or I might wander off a bit. But it's just interesting because I just don't know what exactly is going on in her, what she's doing by sort of not coming to me when I call, but at the same time being really easy to make her come, and by going and like being a little bit physical with her, just giving her a little tap like this way, and she's like, oh, okay, what, you know what I mean? She's totally easygoing about it. So it's just interesting, and I wonder what is going on here.
So you look at that moment when she's out in the woods. What does she want to do the most?
She's just sniffing around, and it's on the property where some dogs are.
Right. So you can use that as a reward.
Mm-hmm.
So even though it's not tangible, it's still positive reinforcement. So what I would do is I would start practicing having her come all the way back to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I would probably bring food with you.
Mm-hmm.
So I would create a command: Zora, come here; Zora, come; Zora, close; whatever you want to use. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that when she comes to you, she gets rewarded for coming to you. But as soon as she takes the food, Kirsten, that's when I want you to say, all right, go ahead, and send her back out to sniff. Now, this is on property that she's allowed to be on, you're allowed to be on, that is a part of your natural routine, all that kind of stuff. Okay? Because what I would like to see happen is that when you guys start walking and she's up ahead and she turns around and looks at you like, hey, are you still coming? Every once in a while when she turns and looks at you, I would like you to do a 180 and start walking away from her and call her to you.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So that's pressure. That's putting pressure on her to make a decision of like, geez, should I go with mom? Because what we want her to start to experience is that you are the one making decisions about where you both are going. So I don't have a problem with a dog out in front of me. Like when I take my dogs off leash, Fitz 99 times out of 100 is out in front. But I want to control how far out in front he gets. Like he can't be 100 yards away from me. So that's what and he likes to push. Man, does he like to push the boundary, you know? So I'm always reinforcing that with like a hey or a come here, just something to bring him back in again. But for you, I think now here's the other thing too. With Fitz, I know if I say like our word is close, he will turn on a dime and come back. And so, and I've gotten there the same way I'm explaining it to you. I've used food with it. I've used a long leash sometimes to just give him a couple little bumps to be like, hey, come back here with me. Rewarded him, but then also rewarded him by letting him go back out. So you're actually in the one exercise, you're providing a double reward. And if you think about that, that's super powerful in the dog world. Because for Zora, when you say, Zora, come here, she's getting rewarded for getting back close to you. And then when you're sending her back out, all right, go ahead, go have fun, go sniff. That's her second reward.
Yeah. Yeah. And we've been doing the scent games and things have been, the relationship feels really, it's like it's getting stronger. And yeah, I mean, I just noticed that my neighbor, when he called his dog, she came right away. Like he was like, Cassie, come. And right away she was there. But that doesn't, when I say Zora, come, she doesn't come right away. So
yeah.
So what you're saying is to basically like have her come, give her food, and then let her go again.
Yeah, but make it a verbal like, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And so you could do this right out, like you could go outside for 5 minutes, Kirsten. And do it and practice for 5 minutes. Let her go out, sniff around the driveway. She goes to the bathroom, call her over to you. You give her something and then send her back out. And then here's the thing. Some dogs, when they realize that you have food, they won't leave your side. So your job is if she's staring at you and doesn't leave your side, now your job is to kind of like disengage with her and put your focus somewhere else outside. Like you're going to walk around and check that tree out, or you're going to walk over and look at a couple of plants. And then when you see that she's moved 10, 15, 20 feet away, now you call her back in again, you reward her, send her back out.
Yeah, because this business of Zora, come, Zora, sorry, she's now looking at me over and over and over again. People, probably hear me. It's annoying, to not for the people who hear me or whatever, but just for it's not good. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will tell you, there wasn't one time that I actually like took my dogs outside to work on that routine. I can't remember of like calling them in to send them back out again in my driveway. Like all the work we've done has actually been out on a walk with either like a long leash. A retractable leash is fantastic for something like this.
Yeah, I do have a retractable leash.
Yeah, because it gives them the freedom. So you could honestly do that walking down the road with her hooked to the retractable. Like just go in the opposite direction of where the people are with their dogs. Because here's the thing, if you say, and this is where that retractable is excellent. Let's say she's 15 feet out, right? And you stopped and you say, Zora, come, and she doesn't, I push my button on the retractable because that locks the, right? And then I give it a couple little tugs. Nothing harsh. I just want this to kind of go like boom, boom, right? Just to get her attention. And as soon as she starts walking towards you, and that's when I just start cheering her on. Oh my gosh, good girl. Way to go. Look at you. Right? Cheer her up. Happy go lucky energy. She gets to you. You reward her. All right, that a girl. Go ahead. You can go back out. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. The retractable is great for something like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. I'll work on that.
Yeah. I love working on that. It's so much fun because it's what they want to do, right? Because then you can literally have different kinds of walks. You can have like a structured walk with her right next to you. You can have like an explore kind of walk with her. She gets to, be on a retractable. You could do like a freedom kind of walk where she is totally off leash and you're romping through the woods. Like you can build that up. And I mean, it's just fun. I don't know. Because you get to see a dog out in the woods, right? Like you get to build that up and what they really want to do and everything.
I know it's incredible to be out on the trail and then she's sort of looping around in the woods, coming back to me, so happy, running, and then she's got a big smile, and because she's now knows the territory, so she feels confident. Although I'm worried that she might get into a porcupine or something terrible like that.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
Yeah. But if she starts to go into a direction that you don't want her to go, I would change my tone. Mm-hmm. And I tend to go very short monotone, like, nope, just very like quick, sharp, short, just something, and you can practice that on the retractable too. Because maybe let's say she goes and she's sniffing towards, there's a big mud puddle that you don't want her to be in. Mm-hmm. And that's when I would go, nope, and a couple little tugs on the retractable, but just keep moving. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like we have to flip us. This is hard for humans. Dogs can do it. It's hard for us to go happy go lucky, happy go lucky. We go nope, and then go right back up to happy go lucky again. Mm-hmm. But I'm telling you, when you learn how to flip that switch, you will be able to communicate so easily with them where you're like, nope. And they're like, huh? That a girl, way to go. Let's go. Right. So because we don't want anything, we don't want it to linger. We don't want that when you go nope and her go, huh? We don't want her to stay in this state of mind.
Yeah.
We just want her to acknowledge us that we disagree with sniffing underneath the log where there might be something living or, whatever you may run into.
Yeah. And that brings me back to the whole sort of mentality of, like you said, the deer, just being just intuitive, instinctual, just, right. It's so simple. And so I don't want to use a lot of words. Just,
Yep. I'm right there with you. Mm-hmm. It gets exhausting using too many words.
I know.
Because then you're like, oh my gosh, my dog is not listening. I'm talking so much. This is probably not the route I need to be going down. Yeah. But it's too much energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Way too much. Makes sense though, right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Are you a dog owner feeling overwhelmed? Does your dog struggle with listening, pulling on leash, or jumping on people? You're not alone, and that's exactly why I created my 12-week Canines and Culture program. With 18 years of hands-on experience, I've helped countless dog owners go from stressed and frustrated to confident and in control. This online group program isn't about quick fixes or just handing out treats. It's about building the right culture in your home so your dog understands what's expected of them. The next program starts January 2nd. I'm only taking 10 people, so don't wait. Join the Early Bird VIP waitlist today. Visit VermontDogTrainer.com and click enroll to secure your spot on the Early Bird VIP waiting list. Because understanding how your dog thinks changes everything.
All right, Tiffany, back to you.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I tried to fix the camera, but I'm not part of the witness protection plan program. So maybe this is related to what we were discussing earlier today. A new behavior is counter surfing.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm like, she'll get off. She gets off quickly, but we are repetitive in what we're doing, so we are ineffective.
Okay.
And is that the same? Like the same responses I need to pull up on her house lead when she does that, and put her back down on all fours?
Is she doing it when she's right next to you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Then.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
just follow through with that, right? So do you remember the videos on follow through?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have to look for that shift in her state of mind before we go back to doing what we were doing, making a sandwich or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because maybe that's where I'm losing her, because I'll put her in that gosh, I always forget what you call it. The state of mind, the state of being. It's not place.
Yeah. In the calmer state of mind, chill.
Yeah. And so she's typically pretty good about, like, I put her between the kitchen and the dining room. She sits there, she watches while I cook dinner or whatever.
Yeah.
Occasionally she takes a minute to stay there, so we're back and forth.
Yeah.
And that's when she comes and she counter surfs. So
yeah. So for me, I think for me to take it a step further, I would create like a threshold of where she's allowed to be in the kitchen and where she isn't.
Okay.
So what I've had some people do is like take a piece of painter's tape and just put it down on the floor, because it gives you a marker of consistency, if you will. So if she takes one step over that piece of tape, you're immediately up and you're like, nope. And I'm saying from you're in the kitchen doing whatever you're doing. She comes across that piece of tape. Now we're addressing and I'm walking towards her and I'm trying to corral her to the other side of the tape. And as soon as she gets to the other side of the tape, I stop and I put her into a sit.
Okay.
And then when she's in the sit, now I go back to doing what I was doing. Fully aware that she's probably going to cross that piece of tape again.
Yeah.
And if she does, now I repeat.
Okay.
So that's the first thing. The second thing, I would get an empty soda can and I'd fill it with about 10 or 20 pennies. Okay. I would keep it on the counter near you. Because if she does come over without you seeing her and she does jump up on, I will grab that can and shake the crap out of it right in front of her.
Okay.
So as she learns, jumping up there is actually not a pleasant experience.
Okay.
Okay. So then when she gets down from there, now that's our opportunity to follow through. So that might be, I'm going to grab the leash that she has on. I'm going to direct her over the other side of that tape. I'm going to plant her butt. And then I'm going back to doing what I'm doing.
Because we're correcting when her mind's at a level where she can accept and hear what we're doing. And when she's I'm just, for my own recount,
yes.
So that when she's on the counter, she's in no space to accept any kind of direction or correction from me. The way I want it to be. So I need the follow through is calm down. Let's go back to where we were. Right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yep. You had to hit the nail on the head. So here's the thing. Anytime a dog is doing something wrong and we give our no, hey, sound, whatever, we want them to stop doing what they're doing, which is great if they do, but then we need to follow through from that, especially at a dog with yours at such a young age. We want the dog to know that we are going to follow through. Because what will happen is over time, and this is 90% of my clients, is that when I get called in with these happy-go-lucky dogs that are just overly stimulated, the owners have stopped things that have, stopped that behavior, but they haven't followed through. So it's more of a deflection. It's a glancing blow. The dog gets super excited, gets told no, and then keeps in and goes and does something else super excited.
Okay.
Rather than this hit a roadblock and go, boom. Oh, I need to chill out. I need to relax. Yes, you do.
Okay. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
it's funny because it's at the cusp of your parameters of watch the boundaries,
Yeah.
be consistent with the boundaries. And it's just funny to me that she's starting to exhibit behavior that she hasn't before, or at least that I haven't seen. And she's
Yeah,
pretty
but
much with me most of the time.
yeah, but this is this 5 to 10th month
Mm.
phrase, or what's the word? Timeline, phase, not phrase, phase. This
Mm-hmm.
is where they start to feel comfortable because they've been in the house for 3 months, right?
Okay,
And
that's what's happening.
she's been in there for 4 months, right? So now she's like, okay, this is home. This is my routine. I know it's expected. I'm getting comfortable. So now I'm starting to grow up a little bit. And this isn't a dog being vengeful. This isn't a dog going, I'm gonna test my boundaries. I don't feel like they work that way. They're just gonna try what they feel like they can try.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it is super duper important at this phase of things that you just follow through when it comes up
Got it.
so that she understands, and you're active with her. If you weren't active with her, it is exhausting with like the no, don't do this and no, don't do that. Cause the dog's like, well, I need to go and I've had all this excess energy, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, oh my gosh,
Mm,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So what week are you on?
I just got the boundaries. 11.
11.
I'm so
All right.
sad I'm on 11.
It happens.
I'm sure you hear that often, but I'm like, I want to break out into song. And now the time has come.
Well, just so you know, you got the 11th week, 12th week, and then there is a 13th call for you because there is still new material in week 12. And I'm not just letting people hang. So you get, the Zoom call after that too.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
I don't want to leave people hanging after I give them the material. So
Well, thank you.
yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right, Kirsten, back to you.
So I have no idea what week I'm on. And is there some sort of material that I'm supposed to be graduating from something each week or
No,
something?
so you joined the coaching lab. So you're just with the calls.
Oh, okay.
And so Tiffany's with the actual 12-week program.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think you signed up for the waiting list, right? I think I saw your name come in for the
I
program.
signed up for the waiting list, which I thought was this same thing happening again.
It is, but so there's weekly emails and instructional videos and all that kind of stuff. So it's like it's taking this and kicking it up a notch.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that will be good for me because to be honest, I'm ashamed to say it, but I completely dropped the ball on the whole like putting her in her crate and leaving her alone thing. Basically, I don't go out more unless she's invited to. So, it's not good. I need to work on that again. Like, so when Casper was here,
Yep.
it was easy. He left a month ago. And I just the whole thought of going through that again is not, so it hasn't happened. I have not left the house and left her in her crate by herself. Basically, yeah, I haven't done it.
Okay.
So that is something I really need to, and I did do it actually 2 days ago for about a minute. Basically starting again at zero. It's ridiculous of me. I feel really bad about it.
That's all right. You got time though too, Kirsten. Don't I wouldn't stress over it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would like to start working on that again.
Yeah.
With your help. But what we have been doing is we've been working with heel. So do you use heel with your dogs? Do you say heel when you're walking?
I don't say it. No.
Okay, what do you say if you want them? Do you say close if you want them to be right next to you when they're walking?
I just want them to come back into my vicinity. I don't need like the perfect military come into my side, get up against my side, stare at me kind of look. I don't need that. I don't really want it. I've never actually had anybody ask me for it. And if they did, I'd tell them I'm not your guy. So I just want them to come back in for a certain amount of time until I let them go back out again. If we're talking off leash stuff.
Oh no, we're talking on leash.
So if we're talking on leash, I'm leaving the house with them at my side. And when we get back to the house, they're still at my side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been walking with her with the belt leash. So it's basically a belt and then it's leash to her. So I'm hands-free. I've been using it for my bike.
Yep.
Using it for walking by the side when we're walking. For example, when we're passing the neighbor's house, I want her to be right there beside me, not ahead, not, just like, because she can go a little bit ahead with that leash. There's about, 7 feet maybe, or 6 feet or something like that. So I have been using heel to get her to be right beside me. And she does. She does it for a little bit, and then she kind of gets ahead again, and then I just say heel and she comes back into it. And we were crossing Route 100C the other day.
Okay.
And we were on the side of the road before we crossed the road. And so we were in heel kind of, well, actually what we were doing was at that moment we were stopped and we were stopped on the side of the road and I was giving her a treat because she was being really good. And then a big 18-wheeler truck went by and she actually did the same thing she does. She lunged at it. She was on leash, of course, so she didn't get away, but that was really scary. I didn't expect her to do that because when we're on the road and she doesn't really do that. She only sort of does that when cars are in front of my house. And so that was scary. And yeah.
So for me, if you're gonna work on heel that way, I would actually do the same thing there with that setup with the belt and the leash as what we were talking about with the retractable. So if she's out in front, you can bring her into heel and keep her there on a short leash until you send her back out to where she can be out in front of you.
Oh, right. Okay.
So just define that for her so she knows what word means what and where she can be at what time.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll define it for her and make it clearer. Because if we bring a dog back into heel and they get 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, 6, 7 feet out, and then we bring them back into heel, and then they get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 back into heel, back out to 8 feet, back into heel, then that becomes the routine.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like the dog will start to realize like that's how they are supposed to walk.
Yeah.
So they're going to constantly go out and come back and go out and come back and go out and come back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
So that would become a negative pattern for you long term.
Right.
That you wouldn't want.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, okay. So that's great. I'm so glad that I brought that up. So when she's in heel, so I say heel and she heels. Then when she goes, so what's happening is then she goes up ahead of me a little bit and then I say heel again.
Yeah.
So how do I change that?
Yeah. So you're going to say heel. She comes back in.
Mm-hmm.
Now we go into a short leash, as short as it can be with a little bit of slack on it.
Okay.
So maybe you keep her there for 30 seconds, however long you want to. If you're crossing the road, she has to stay there the entire time.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's say you cross the road. Now you can say, all right, go ahead. So now you're releasing her back out to be in front of you and you can enjoy your walk as far as you want to like that. But let's say you're going to walk by the neighbor's house with the dogs, right?
Right.
So you go heel, Zora heel. So she comes back in, short leash. You get by the house. All right, go ahead.
Right. Because that belt thing that you lent me does have, you can shorten it. So I could just shorten it. And then that's what heel means always.
Yes.
And then when I'm ready to let her go, like I've been saying, okay, instead of saying, for example, when we're doing the scent games, I'm now saying, okay. I say, okay, when I go to kick the ball.
Yes. See?
And then I'll say, okay, when I take off the short leash. Okay.
You see how all this is starting to all come into,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
because you're saying heel on the walk, I would actually say that when you're out, like doing the retractable leash stuff or out in the woods,
Okay.
I would use that word.
Okay.
Yeah. So now it's consistent with every single context and every atmosphere environment that you're in.
So, okay. When I want her to come back to me, are you saying, instead of saying like, are you saying use the word heel, like Zora heels,
Yes,
or rather than saying come?
I would.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep it consistent for her.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Remember, she doesn't know the definition of heel, right?
Neither do I really. I mean, what is that word anyways?
It's to be next to you.
Okay.
Okay. So it's semantics. You could say whatever word you want to. Could say aloha if you wanted to. But to her, she doesn't know. All she knows is where she's supposed to be when she hears that word.
Right.
That's all. So if you're using heel in context of during your walks and during your hikes and maybe the retractable thing, she knows what that means. And all of your okays are releases back out to go find the ball during a scent game, or go find the ball when you're playing, or going back out in the woods and sniffing, or going back out to the end of the leash. You see how this becomes so consistent for her, Kirsten, that it's going to become a well-oiled machine after a while. Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And so one last thing, when it comes to vehicles, always, and maybe you do this already, when you're walking, just make sure that you're in between her and the vehicle.
Yeah, we were.
Okay.
That was, oh my God. Oh, jeez. That was so scary.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't, it was scary, but I did have her.
Yeah.
But thank God that, yeah.
So the next time something like that you feel is going to happen, where you're near the road and you hear a car coming,
Yeah.
my eyes get locked on the dog, because I want to start to look for signals ahead of time,
Right.
where they start to it's called loading up, where the dog starts to like look and listen, and then they literally start to like grow in place.
Yeah.
Before they whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you see her starting to like load up or whatever and starting to do this, that's when I'm moving her away. Like, so you're not letting her hit the peak of the mountaintop here. You're getting her off, moving laterally away before she gets into that moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Because when another time that we were biking on my road, which is a dirt road with very few cars, we were practicing the heel thing, and it was going very well. She turned around. There was a vehicle that was coming out of a driveway that we'd already walked by, or we were on my bike. So I was on my bike. She was next to me on the leash, and I was watching, I was totally watching her because, obviously I had to be safe, because if she jerked or whatever, then, it would be an accident. But so there was a car behind us that was pulling out of a driveway, and it went the opposite way, not towards us. But anyway, she was engaged. She was interested in that car and trying to look at it. But I just kept saying heel, 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 and kept going with my bike. And she did eventually, just like continue. She abandoned the idea of being interested in that. So is that good? Was well played, like by me?
If you can decrease that interest, yeah, and you're doing it appropriately, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. That's good. All right. Tiffany, you got anything else?
No, I don't. Kristen, thank you very much for the conversation. A lot of that information was helpful. So thank you.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's so great to be able to share this, like to talk amongst each other and hear other people's stories is so valuable.
Yeah. Well, it's important to hear that you're not alone. I think a lot of dog owners think they're alone with what they're dealing with. And I think dog owners are in the majority of what they're dealing with. Like, There are tens of thousands of people that are going through the same thing that you guys are going through. I mean, the amount of dog trainers that are out there now compared to when I first came out in 2007, let alone the 90s, I mean, it's exponential. So there's reasons for that.
Yeah.
The demand
thank
is
you.
there.
Thank you for holding space.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, good call, ladies, tonight. Let me know if you need anything as usual. And don't forget, so we start our Tuesday call moves to Wednesdays on December 11th. So
Thank you for saying that.
Yep. So this Tuesday would be our last Tuesday call.
Okay. Same time?
Same time. Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep, for sure. All right. Right.
I just quite a thing. So I should get another one of those leash belts before you pick it up. Can you give me another week with it? Just
For sure. Absolutely.
Do you by any chance have boots? I need boots. Do you
For her?
Yeah.
I don't have any of those.
You don't do that. Okay, cool.
No.
Great. Well, I will get another one and we'll talk about it then. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, just shoot me an email when you get it, Kirsten, and I'll find a time to stop by and grab it.
Okay, cool.
All right. Have a good night.
Good night. Bye.
Bye.
Well, listen, baby. You could keep your pedigree family. This rescue dog is through with you.